Hello, my dear friends, lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow Americans. This is time for our weekly update. And with me with the update was my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, a political commentator. I'd rather call him a brother.
Yes, sir.
Because he's kind of, sometimes not always a brother. There's a term called Avantic. What is that? Avantic. With an E.
Oh, I'm not sure, but we are.
The uncle kind of.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Uncle kind. What is the word?
Yeah,
I'm missing that word.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but we are.
Avantic.
Yeah, okay.
All right, okay, anyway. We share lots of things in common. And of course, inevitably, we argue all the time. And the more we argue, the more we like each other. Because that's not only the beauty of democracy, it's the beauty of friendship.
We share disagreement in common.
And you push each other.
Yes.
All right? You disagree
with
each other. And then you get to a common point.
It pushes our minds farther.
Yeah, farther. And also you find a new common ground rather than
That's correct.
The original common ground.
Than eternal disagreement.
So with that as a lead line, welcome to my dear friend, Ken Hemming, to the show.
Happiest place on earth is right here. This is better than Disneyland.
Very good. Better, back to the weekly update.
Yes, sir.
All right. This week for the update, we get the business news to share with you. That's the 19th conference of the CPC in China. And also, it is already announced that the two big guys, right, the two leaders of the world, I believe, will meet on November the 8th.
Right, I'm ready for 11 days from now.
Oh, yeah,
Let's get it on. I want to watch that. I won't sleep that day. It'll be
How do you expect that?
Well, now here's what I will be comparing it with. When President Trump landed in Saudi Arabia, they had a spectacular greeting for him. Red carpet, the king was there, and he was spectacularly received.
Leaders of 50 countries bowed to him.
Yeah, in just respect.
And welcomed him to him.
So I hope when he lands in Beijing that we'll have some red carpet and we'll have the leaders with a warm welcome, which I suspect will happen.
Red carpet
and
is
I look
sure,
forward.
I believe.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Probably Xi Jinping will be there in person.
Because
you're talking about president to president.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like king to president in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it is a lot like they're on the same level. It's not any entourage thing.
Right.
It is a
man-to-man.
Man-to-man thing.
Man-to-man.
Could be that.
Yeah.
And of course, a question nowadays between China and the United States, there are disagreements, there are conflicts, there are common grounds.
Correct.
Right? It's hard to quantify them, which is more, which is less. However, at the meeting, though, do you think they will exchange more on the common grounds or vice versa?
Frankly, I think the answer will be both, because one of the most important things, besides all our trade things that President Trump's going to try to improve for America, Chinese influence on North Korea will be the #1 topic, I would think. And that has me scared. We have, I don't know how many aircraft carriers now, but off the coast of North Korea. And China does have the power. They are doing things that are more effective against North Korea. The people of North Korea, maybe they suffer a little bit to try to stop this nuclearization.
You're right.
But that's the way it is. It's up to China. We will have peace.
It is up to China. It is up to North Korea too.
Yes, it is.
Because China had been lately, if you pay attention to what China is doing or has been doing for the past 3-4 months, you will see that China is doing more and more, putting more and more pressure onto them, rather than a one lump sum thing.
Right.
Rather than first with the withdrawal of the trade, and then with the bank thing, with the money thing, and now you're talking about, okay, now back up from it or you die. Something like that.
Well, it's money and trade, and we can see that the banks are having better controls on that. And but there's also things we just hope there's nothing we don't see.
And there is a third possibility.
Yeah.
Remember a few days ago, Dr. Kissinger offered to go.
I love Dr. Kissinger.
Yeah, Dr. Kissinger
I
offered to
admire
get
him.
involved.
Yeah.
Dr. Kissinger is known for a man of problems, of man of resolving problems.
Yes.
Man of melting problems. Okay, now I'm thinking, I'm getting a little naive with Dr. Henry Kissinger and China all together pushing, one from top and then one at the side push.
Yes.
And the America, our militaries are around it. Okay.
Right.
All right. So here's our muscles. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to die, you want to live, or you want to die a hard way, or whatever.
And tell your viewers, remind them that
probably.
Dr. Kissinger is the American that went to China before Richard Nixon,
sure.
but not everybody knows that. And so he's a very, very significant person in Chinese history.
Thank you for that reminder, because some of my young audiences, for example,
no idea.
somebody like my son's age, right, they will have no idea about who we are talking about.
And Dr. Kissinger is 90 years old now.
Yeah, Dr. Kissinger, 90 years old, more than 90 years old. Thank God he's still alive, he's still in good health. Oh, by the way,
his mind is.
By the way, he met with Mr. James Su like 2 years ago, I believe. Yeah,
I'd love to shake his hand.
We had a picture taken of that on the wall of our entrance of our business.
That would be nice.
It is such a character respected so much. Right? In this world, nobody doesn't accept Henry Kissinger
as a leader and a man
as
of
a leader
true
of,
brilliance
of civilization, of humanism.
Both the left and right respect him.
Back in 1972, during those years, there was a Cold War when Russia was preparing an attack to China. They were ready to use nuclear power, right? And they released the information via media to the United States to test water, to see how the United States would respond once war breaks up. Right.
Okay.
And Henry Kissinger was sent by Carter at that time. No, not Carter. Nixon.
Nixon. Early 70s.
Yeah, early 70s, but by Nixon that time, to get in touch with China, say somebody want to do this attack, right? And then got the information, got everything on their alert, and the United States says we do not agree. If you attack, we get involved, something like that.
Right.
So you're talking about. Remember, we're talking about the tripod balance.
Right.
And that balance function at that time.
Right.
That stopped Russia of invading China.
Yeah.
You guys love China, love Russia so much. There's a little reference for you to think about, right? This is how they wanted, what they planned to do. Thanks to Dr. Henry Kissinger, I believe the same story I'm telling you, right?
Very well.
Yeah, very well. Yeah.
I was alive.
All right,
I followed it.
Go ahead. I'll better let you continue. Yeah.
Oh, no, Dr. Kissinger was just very famous for being an intermediary among countries that had problems with each other, and he was respected. He was welcomed everywhere. He was listened to, and he was often very successful and highly respected. And really, China loved Dr. Kissinger.
He did
I'd love him to go with President Trump to China.
He did a glorious job for stopping World War III. That should be World War III.
Right.
And to my friend who liked to Boruski so much, well, here's a reference. All right.
Right.
Anyway, go back to Henry Kissinger. He offers himself.
Yeah.
He offers to Donald Trump administration, say, I would offer to get involved with a negotiation. Well, no. Okay, now, question. When Donald Trump goes to China, would he pack him, Dr. Henry Kissinger,
on the plane,
and in the same trip,
yeah,
as one of the top guys, top whatever advisor for his entourage?
You know, I haven't heard that yet, but I think it would be just laudatory, praiseful to bring Dr. Kissinger to China for a final meeting, a final farewell with his activities with China, because he was very important.
At least Henry Kissinger and Xi Jinping and his administration,
right,
and the Trump administration, the three administrations all together can share some thoughts.
I'd like that.
I believe some wisdom there.
Yeah, and it might
There
happen.
must be some wisdom there.
If he's okay to travel, I hope President Trump thinks of that.
Yeah, to deal with a kid like that, it's quite an easy job for them when you mobilize a team like that big.
It's a big
On this global
trip.
earth, on this global earth, there's no team bigger than that team.
And then President Trump goes to South Korea also. So, this is a big deal.
All right, good. And probably we can ally South Korea, and China can ally South Korea, and do a bigger deal, right? Anyway, so in addition to the North Korean subject, what else do you think could be the big subject between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping?
Well, let me ask you this because this be interesting to me and to your viewers. They are saying, now what I hear doesn't mean that I'm right always, but that they haven't, normally when they have these congresses every 5 years, they're sort of, you can tell who the future leader is going to be. And in this case, there's nobody sort of identified as a future leader, replacement, okay? And also then, and I really want to know your thoughts on this, President Xi has put in some more powers for him and which go into the Constitution and everything. My friends, I'm speaking for just a bunch of regular Americans like me, the more power centralized in one person, it doesn't feel good to my friends. That's more like, because at least China has a Congress that can debate with each other, but if there's too much power, that's more of a dictatorship.
Yeah,
and so what do you think about that?
I would like to share with you my thoughts, okay?
Yeah.
I've been here in the United States for 34 years already.
Thank you for
34 years, of course, this is my home.
Yeah.
I'll never go, I'll never leave, right? This is
It's your homeland now. Yeah.
Right, now. So I can share with you the route that I've been going through.
Right.
When I first landed in America, and those early days, early years, I loved the system so much, right? Because I knew nothing about it, as a matter of fact. I get excited by the fact that I'm excited.
Right.
That's
and
exciting. Then later, during the middle term years, first 10, middle 10, and last 10, or present 10, or something like that. Let's cut it the second 10, I started to doubt. I'm not doubting the system being the best on the earth.
Okay.
I was doubting the system has holes.
Some of the power players too.
Yes, you're right.
Right.
Some corruptions too.
Right.
Some power holes too.
Right.
Some legislation holes too.
Right.
And the party kind of like exhaustion between themselves too.
Right.
Stuff like that. Okay. They exhaust themselves. Okay, now. And the latter part, I started to come down. Now my mind are broader than when I came.
Yeah, right.
Now, I'm thinking about, number one, there's no nation has a population like China, 1.41 last time we checked.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Whereas the second place is 1.3 something.
Yeah, India.
With India.
Yeah.
Nobody has a country of that population.
Yeah.
And nobody had a system, like say for example, United States has a system, maybe it could be something for Belgium to follow, for example, which is randomly pick a country, right? Maybe for Scandinavia to follow,
right?
For whoever, because size-wise, or they're smaller, they're looking up at a successful model. Okay, let's follow United States.
Right.
When China want to do the same thing, looking around for something, okay, who do I copy?
Right.
There is nobody for them to copy. So now, we should allow them, China, to go their own route, to test water themselves, to enhance themselves, to go to do their own.
Well, and in President Xi's 3-hour speech, one of his points was he wanted the Chinese method of government to be a role model for other countries to follow. Now, I don't like that, okay? I mean, I don't, that doesn't excite me.
I like that. Anyway, we disagree.
Well,
okay,
I don't think
my dear audience, let's take a break. We're a little over this one, but it's good, and we want to come back still to finish it. With me, my good friend Ken Hemming. I like his comment, and I like his worry too. and his concerns too. That indicates he's responsible.
I hope so.
He's not a hit-and-run guy, all right?
Not at all.
All right, okay. We'll be right back, please. Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the discussion about the weekly update with me, my friend Ken Hamming, a political commentator, big brother kind of friend who I trusted so much, who I argue all the time, but I love unconditionally. Right,
Thank you.
that.
And back to you.
Thank you. Same thing.
Yeah.
Back to the point that we haven't finished. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. China wants to set a model, right? A role model for the rest of the world. They mean two things. Number one thing, that we want to do our own road, pioneer our own road, because there is no reference to us to follow. All right. Number two, China expresses its determination that we want to be responsible to the rest of the world. So see what I do. Okay, here's the money for your railroad. Here's the money for your harbor. Here's the money for your airport.
Right.
Okay. And now I charge you 5%, 10%, plus 9%, that's it.
Yeah, now those are not charitable activities. They're
of course.
They're power activities.
They're power activity.
Yeah.
Okay, now those guys, they need money for the railroad. They need money for the airport. They need money for whatever they want to do. So now China is helping by showing its responsible style, which is not bad. If that you call a role model or example or whatever to follow, let them follow. If everyone that does the same thing, we have a better world. That's my take.
Okay, well, it's a peaceful way of expansion, expanding your influence and power over other parts of planet Earth.
Good. That's very fair. In history, looking at the present time, or by philosophy, whatever, no nation doesn't work for its own benefit.
And President Trump emphasizes that. He said, hey, you're in Pakistan, be for Pakistan.
Of course.
I'm in America, I'm for America.
America first.
Right.
No nation doesn't believe the slogan that they're a nation first.
And that's why borders are important in countries.
Yes. However, there are ways of doing it. Right? There are different ways of doing that. Right? So, and there's one way, there's a third way, there's a fifth way, there's whatever. There are ways in between. You allow everybody to pick up their own way. You trust your system, let them follow.
Well, and now President Trump is going to disallow some of the ways that China's had trade power over us in bad contracts.
We even allow the fact that they have disagreement.
Yeah, right. And so he's going to try to get an even playing field again.
One thing for sure.
I love it.
For Donald Trump, a guy like that, fly all over with his entourage. I believe it's a big entourage. To go to China.
Big entourage.
Judging his style, right?
Yeah.
Judging his style. And to meet with Chinese counterparts, though, that is positivity plus positivity. Do you agree with me?
I have a feeling, this may be the dumbest thing I've ever said, but I bet it's true, that the Chinese press will treat President Trump with more honor and dignity over there than our press does here.
Of course. Of course. Yeah,
and
you're
that's
right.
very
That
depressing.
is the very, very rare part. You're right.
Yeah. So
last time, I hate to say that when President Xi Jinping was in here, he didn't get a fair trade. He didn't get enough.
Well, because he was standing next to Trump, and anybody that's with Trump are the media despise.
That's BS.
That's true.
You're talking about nation to nation. If you love your nation,
I know.
You salute to it, you do whatever is best for them.
I'm just saying that our media is against anybody that is friendly to President Trump.
That's a wrong take.
That's all I'm saying.
That's a wrong take. That's
on the media part. Yeah, it's totally wrong.
And by Constitution, when Donald Trump is the president, you have to respect. Take him as a symbol of this nation. Whoever respects his symbol, respect our nation.
Right.
I criticize Donald Trump all the time. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I pick bones with Donald Trump all the time. You know that. However, in terms of Constitution, I go by Constitution. I salute to him, President of the United States. Yes, sir. Like that kind of.
And I wish our prior administration had done the same.
All right, good.
But they didn't.
In other words, I may set example for them to follow. All right, good. Okay, now.
You are a role model.
Yeah, all right, good. I have a little small issue
Yes,
to
sir.
share with you. And of course, everybody is discussing about even the issue itself, right? About Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
The guy is notorious already. He lost everything, almost everything, facing a lawsuits like Sky High.
Right.
And by the way, he is suing himself.
He's suing his own company. Right, exactly. Yeah, that's...
Okay, it's a mess, all right.
It's a mess.
I might have a different take, or a little different take, or I might have a referential take.
Right.
Right. To the moment when the cases were happening, when the violence, when the crime were conducted, did the ladies have other options?
Well,
rather than capitulating at that point,
Well,
wait for 30, 40 years,
right, right.
and all of a sudden break up like a landslide?
You know, it's very sad. I can tell you this, if my daughter was harassed in any way, she would slug the guy, get out of there, go public, and do the right thing. But most of the women ladies, were younger, trying to get into Hollywood and make money and be famous. Well, okay, who doesn't? But that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your dignity and your to do that. So it's a big. It should have all been out. But see, it's all over Hollywood. Harvey's not the only one.
Am I right? Am I right if I say the following, right? If you show your understanding or sympathy to the fact that this lady was harassed,
Right.
and she capitulated because she wanted a job,
Right.
right? Does that mean
with silence?
Does that mean exactly the same thing? You confirm it is the right way to get the job.
Of course, it's the wrong way to get the job. But what happens is when you're a lady, you're harassed or attacked or raped or something, and you don't go to the police, you don't go public, then you're allowing other ladies to be victims also. So you're actually harming the whole female gender on planet Earth by allowing, because you know it's going to keep happening.
What if a slam on the face, a kick to the glorious area?
Yeah, kick it hard.
And kick it hard.
Yeah.
Right, and
Absolutely.
slam open the door and rush out,
run out,
and break the windows or smash whatever.
Run to the police
to make
department.
Noise and started screaming.
Right.
And to let everybody know what's happening.
And you know,
if he's naked, show his naked body. Open the door. Here's the Mr. Weinstein.
You know, I guarantee the Peninsula Hotel, which I've been in, it's got a great bar, nice people. The Peninsula Hotel on Santa Monica Boulevard, they knew what Harvey was doing, and they didn't do anything about it either, because they could tell people were distraught when they left. They're partially culpable too for letting him keep coming back to the same place.
All of a sudden he flipped open his robe and he was naked, wearing nothing.
He's a bad man.
Why didn't you kick him?
Yeah.
Right, like that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay, now you're talking about if anybody,
they were
one
hungry
of the girls
for fame,
did something like what we described,
right,
that could stop him.
Oh,
at least by a certain extent.
Well, for a week anyway, and then you go public
with it.
For
a day, right?
Yeah, right.
At least he learns some obstacles.
Takes a while to get over a kick.
Yeah. Not all free, all for lunch, no lunch for free, right?
That's terrible.
Something like that.
But it's common, and it's the
media,
tip of the iceberg.
And the media too helps with the trend. Okay. Oh, by the way, my dear audiences,
they wouldn't cover
whatever I say represents my own take, my own position as Jack Chow.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the show, with the organization, with whatever. I just apply my freedom of expression.
And you do it well.
As a United States citizen, I deserve the right. I do have the right. I don't want to associate my statement with anybody.
Right.
Neither do I to the show. All right.
Sir.
How about that as a disclaimer?
It's righteous.
Very good. All right. My dear friend, this is a short for the second one because this is very disgusting. All right. And I believe there's one thing to mention. Weinstein is not the only one.
He's not the only one. There's a lot of Harveys out there.
A lot of Harveys. Okay. Now, let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll come back talk about the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Yes,
How
sir.
about that? Very good. Hello, my dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the weekly update with my good friend Ken Hemming, a political commentator, a backbone to the community. He loves justice. He loves justice. I call him a fighter for justice.
That's true.
And he's Republican and dead fast Republican. And I argue with him a lot. To be frank with you, sometimes I argue for the purpose of arguing.
Yes, sir.
For the purpose of I have to portray in a different idea so that I bring discussion on the table, argument on the table for my audience's sake. Right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily I myself always the one picking up bones from a neck or something like that.
Right, right.
I will sometimes fake disagreement to make a point, right? Anyway, when I fake a disagreement, I tell my audience that I fake a disagreement.
Right.
So when when I'm in it to disagree, I'll tell you.
I could tell it in your eyes then.
Good, very good. Okay, now we hear about yesterday the partial release of the document or information kept secret by the government since 1963.
63, yeah.
1963, when former President J.F. Kennedy was assassinated. With the rules made back then, yesterday was the day. So Donald Trump wasted no time, released it. Yet to the last minute, there came the voice saying that we should redact it.
Redact about 50,000 pages of it.
The eradication will probably take some time,
right?
A half a year or something. We don't know. We do not know. Waiting until April 26th of 2018 to see either the whole thing or another partial.
Right.
I believe it's only another partial because they still have something.
You're probably right.
Okay. What's your take
about
this event, this situation in which we the people, we the public, who by Constitution deserve to know, deserve to have the right of information, are kept from the secret? How do you comment on the fact?
Well, right at the end, when it's supposed to all be released, it's a phony excuse to say that we have to redact some of it. Our government's had 54 years to go through all of the documents and do what they thought would be necessary. Not after 54 years, we have to look at them again. That is a lie. It's just not a truthful statement. Okay. And I'm disappointed in President Trump. It wasn't his decision. Two of his cabinet members and agencies recommended that and said that, and he went along with it. I was thinking, I stayed up almost till midnight because I was thinking at the end that President Trump would override them, but he did not. And I woke up very sad today on that. So I love what our president does for America. This is something that I think was against the right of the citizens to know what happened.
For that, I'll agree. On the contrary, even though most of the time I do not agree, this time I agree with him. Hear the logic, right?
Okay.
Now, when you are mystified in a situation like this, I'm not saying that I'm a conspiracist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying about there is a logic to follow. The logic being, whoever was involved, or whatever was involved, or whichever was involved in the assassination, if they had gone obsolete, it has to be 100% released. It will be 100% released because nobody is alive now. Okay.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah, good. The fact that some has to be still kept a secret, and after Donald Trump's consideration, he agreed to the partial secret that has to be kept. Meaning, there are either someone or somehow, or whatever, or whichever
Right.
organization, whatever, that involved are still alive, are still in power, are still functioning.
And if
Am I right?
Well, if what you say is true, then anybody for justice to be laid out, people should be exposed while they're alive if they were evil in those days in the '60s. If they were doing things that were conspiratorial against the president.
By logic, if you apply
There's some mistake on a
if
president.
you apply Constitution, everybody deserves to know. No matter you're alive or dead.
And that's what I do. I am a constitution person.
I know. However, for the administration, they have a government to run. For the government to be running, certain agencies have to be alive. All right?
Well, but the truth will never close down all our agencies.
Yeah, if some of the agencies were involved in the assassination, you're getting bad names to the agency.
That's what they would deserve if that was the case. That's life.
I know.
They
I'm not
deserve it.
arguing you with the fact.
Right.
I'm arguing with the logic.
Well, that's
by logic. This agency, as long as the agency lives or functions, right, this secret has to remain secret.
It should not, and it should not remain secret.
Come on, Ken. I know, but you talk like a baby.
No, wait. You're agreeing, Jack. You don't want it to be secret. It should be released last night.
You're applying to Constitution. I'm applying to logic. Am I right? We're in the same boat.
Hiding the truth is not logic.
You're the left row. I'm the right row.
Hiding the truth is not logic.
I know. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I am talking about. I'm applying to logic. You're talking about by Constitution. You deserve to know. Everybody deserves to know, right?
That's logical.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm saying that based on that understanding, they have a government to run. For the government to be running, some agencies have to be alive, right? For that purpose, with the nation's security and betterment in consideration, they have to keep something alive.
I totally, essentially disagree because there's no truth, 50-year-old truth, that's going to dysfunction our government today.
It will. There are some.
Okay, got to bet $1.
There are some. I can bet all my life. You can have my head.
Now,
right?
That'd be nice. It'd be improve over mine.
Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and I want to make my statement. I do agree that by Constitution, everybody deserves the right to be informed. All right? Number two, following logic, you have a government to run. When the government is running, you have to keep some agencies alive who were involved. You don't want to get bad name to their reputation, so that will weaken their power.
But right. I just want to share with your viewers that within 30 days, I saw President Trump gave a speech at my college, University of Wyoming, within 30 days of when he was assassinated. And it was so exciting when you hear Hail to the Chief and the president walks in, hallelujah. It was great. And then the trauma, the tragedy, just like 27 days later, he was dead. But I saw him, and it was, and I. All right.
Anyway,
and he would be a Republican now, Jack, with what his.
John F. Kennedy died in a Democratic.
He was a Democrat. But he was for tax cuts and all kinds of things that are Republican now.
Oh, speaking of tax cut, we really need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's take a short moment out.
Yeah.
We will come back to talk about the tax cut. Stay with us, please. Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, you ladies and gentlemen. In the weekly update with my good friend Ken Hamming, we touch base with you about the fact that President Xi Jinping and President Donald Trump are supposed or scheduled to meet in November somewhere in Beijing, in which we express our expectancy for some good things to pop up, right?
Yes.
As a result, these two nations if we go hand in hand, there's nothing we could not do, right? And number
That's
two,
true.
we're talking about poor guy Harvey Weinstein. He's a bad guy, of course, and he did dirty things, disgusting things, but still there are lessons to learn.
Yes.
The lesson to learn is that if you girls or whoever, or nowadays you can
Or boys, yeah.
you can talk about boys,
Right.
whoever
You're right.
encounter in a situation like that. What you do, slam on the face, kick it in the glorious area, and run as fast as you could. That's it.
Yeah, call the police.
On the way out, you smash things, break windows, make huge noise whatsoever. Can having a raping a man, like that kind of thing.
Lauren, that's my daughter. He's joking.
I know. And I know. Ken Having will never do that.
Not at all.
And plus, he hated me.
I worship women. They're
Get it.
spectacular.
All right, and then we talked about the document release of regarding former President J.F. Kennedy's assassination, in which there are doubts to talk about. For the partial release, there's a partial remain a secrecy, and for a government to keep that for legitimate reason, the only answer could be that something somehow involved in the assassination is still alive.
They've had 50 years to deal with it.
50 years to deal with it and not dealt with.
Right.
But anyway, there must be something. Okay, now, history will tell, time will tell. Now down to the last one, the tax cut.
Yes, sir.
Which is thing that I put in the last. I want the and happy ever after.
We hope. We pray.
Right. The tax cut thing has been on the lips for quite some time. Ever since the early days of Donald Trump's campaign, and tax cut was his principle.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes. And he almost talked at every campaign event on the trail all the way to even this day. Now, it looks at things are put into practice. Thoughts are put in words are put now in activities, right? What have you heard about the tax cut?
Well, there's many issues that aren't resolved. We'll find out next Wednesday what the details of the proposed tax reform program will be. But just one overall thing that I think most reasonable people believe in, that if it's a tax cut in a rate, that everybody, poor, middle class, and wealthy, should benefit from it. The top, the 10% pay 70% of all taxes that go to the government. Of course they need a break too, because it just makes sense, because they're also the people that create jobs, and so the more money they have and are able to keep, they can reinvest in equipment, and they can reinvest in new employees, and also innovation. So those are beautiful things. People should not look. There's like the 7 zip codes around Washington, D.C., are among the richest zip codes in America, and mostly occupied by politicians. Okay, there are so many rich Democrats. It's so incredible. And when they say, "Oh, you can't give a tax cut to the rich," it's hypocrisy, because that's who they are. They are the rich.
Are there rich Republicans?
Of course there are.
Yeah, sure.
Well, sure.
Next time we just include them. Yeah.
Well, they were included by attrition, okay? But basically, anybody, you see, intelligence in business success has nothing to do with what party you're in.
All right.
It has to do with an individual talent, okay?
Right,
So,
and then, best way to express it, those rich guys, or rich people, that's it.
well, those
Not
are lies.
rich Democrats, not Republicans, just the rich people, that's it, okay?
Well, but
wealth has no partisanship.
Well, no, but the Democrats, Jack, they despise a tax cut for themselves, which is a hypocritical statement. Everybody should benefit.
That's away from the subject today, from the focus today. Today, we're talking the tax cut.
And then so we're really right now at about 4 brackets that they're proposing. Probably 20% for the corporate, which is we were hoping for 15%. But and then
so
certain
previously
deductions.
It was 35, right?
Yeah, or 39.6 too, over a certain amount, pretty high. Corporate's 35, so individual 39.6. we got to see what happens. I do believe it's going to happen. Okay, I have optimism. They did pass the budget, which was a necessary step to be able to bring to the floor and to pass the tax bill with a majority of senators, not 60.
That's what I
That's the
heard
big
yesterday,
thing.
because the Congress has approved the budget.
Yeah.
Right?
Late at night.
The budget to kick off the actual work.
And only by 4 votes, which is rather staggering. 20 Republicans did not vote for it in the House, which is sort of, I don't know, absurd.
That decision, that kind of vote, does not call for a supreme majority,
No.
right?
No.
Just the regular
Right,
majority.
51 in the Senate, right?
51.
But it just a majority in the House, and the Republicans have a majority. They'll have the votes in the House. It's like, I still can't imagine anybody not voting for something that does improve what is very overly complicated and restrictive for growth of our economy. By the way, this last quarter, we were over 3%. It had been higher if we didn't have the hurricanes. Gross national product. It hasn't been there in all.
Except California.
Well, no, the country, yeah.
No, I believe that the tax cut could be welcome to all states, well, including California, because California votes on everything. You want to do a tax increase, you want a tax cut, you want to do whatever, they vote.
They vote for increases.
They vote for
This is the highest tax state in America.
Remember, my dear folks, remember what we just did with a tax increase of gasoline?
Yeah.
Okay, starting November 1st, you're paying 12 cents more per gallon of gasoline for gasoline tax.
It's evil. It's just evil. And the problem with that too, the poorer people have the biggest negative impact on them.
We voted.
Well, I'm not in the we, okay? Maybe you're in the we, I'm not in the we. But yes, your representatives did. But the thing is, that's where the less money you have, the more you're impacted by it. And also the poorer people, middle class and lower economic class, they usually have longer commutes to work too, Jack.
I'm considered poor people.
Well,
I'm among the poor people, poor folks.
Well, there's a lot poorer than you, Jack. There's a lot of people that live. Actually, the average.
And yet the poor people have to pay starting January 1st, 2018.
Right. No.
Which is down 2 months down the road.
Right.
And an extra $175 for registration. That's a hell lot of money.
And we've talked about this before. When they get a ticket, say I get a speeding ticket, and some guy that barely got enough money to live on gets a speeding ticket, his fine is the same as mine. That's insane. They really are hurt by the magnitude of the fines for traffic infractions. Really hurts my soul.
Yeah, of course.
Really hurts
the guy
me.
in Mercedes-Benz, such as in your case, pays $500 for speeding.
Right.
The guy in the
62 Corvair,
62
they pay the same 500.
Right?
Yeah.
The same thing, 500.
Right. It's not right.
Okay, that's not right. Okay,
Well, because it is not right because I should pay more than they do, but that's all too big of a fine. It should be equally payable by all citizens. Right. So anyway, it's a really bad deal. But
I don't know what's wrong with California. We Californians vote on everything.
Hey, California wants.
We voted on water bond.
Well,
right?
California voted itself as a sanctuary state, which I find
we voted on
despicable.
On everything.
Despicable.
On the one hand, we voted for immigration reform. On the other, we voted for a sanctuary city or state, and then we voted for the tax increase for gasoline.
Everything.
And we voted in the increase of registration fees. $175.
Everything.
And now we're saying that we hail for the Donald Trump tax cut. Well, I lost my own description. Who am I?
Right.
Who are Californians?
Well, we're irrelevant in the state.
We're
I'm irrelevant because there's not enough people like me. Irrelevant. Right.
Yeah, irrelevant.
No one cares what I think. Nobody cares what I do.
Let's stop complaining.
But we'll find out then, and we should have a vote perhaps before Thanksgiving. Maybe there'll be something thankful to be. Maybe there'll be something thankful to be thankful for on Thanksgiving this year, and it helps everybody. And yet,
if this works out, when would that apply? be imposed.
Hopefully for this year, 2017, retroactively to January 1, 2017. That's what everybody wants. That's what it should be. And
how much would that affect you and me? I know between you and me there is no comparison. You make too much money. I make too little. How much would it affect you and me?
I do agree you make too little, but I'd say I only work. Don't forget, I just work 2 days a week now. Okay, so I don't make big money, but I'm doing well. But
I mean, you're 2 days a week.
But it could mean 10,000 in taxes for me, 15,000. Less to pay. I mean, it's a big deal. If the rates go down, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Right. And I bend over for a penny if I see it laying there now. We all have to protect ourselves. In President Trump, they're talking about modifying the 401k plans to encourage people to start saving younger. And right now, the average contribution by the average worker to 401ks is like $200 a month. Well, you'd have to live to be 4,000 years old at $200 a month compounding interest to have enough money to retire.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, just to pay your gas taxes.
That's a joke, but one thing for sure.
But it's true, yeah.
People are scared off to retire. They stay on the job because they are so scared.
Well, and we're also healthier than we used to be. And so to me,
that's a fact.
The retirement age, for Social Security is 65. I think it ought to go to at least 67, 68. People are working past 65. We live longer. And so, you don't want to run out of money before you run out of oxygen, okay? You want to die with the dime in your pocket at least. And so we should, I can't figure out why we don't raise the age. It's common sense, the age. Way back when 65 was selected as a retirement age, people were dying at 72. Yeah. Now it's like 88.
Last time at the fair, county fair or something.
Yeah.
There's a table, there's a booth.
Oh yes.
Selling the plots.
Yes. Right? Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Selling the plots.
Rose Hills. Rose Hills plots.
Nice place.
Plots, and they kind of stopped me.
Yeah.
Probably I look too old. I don't know. They want to make a sale. I said, no. I'm too poor to die.
Yeah, that's right. No.
I'm just too poor to die. I don't have the dying money, all right?
Right.
So that's why I still live.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, in the old days we had incinerators. You could just throw your body in your backyard incinerator that burned trash. That's what it used to do when I was a kid.
You want to cremate it.
Not people, but trash.
You want to cremate.
Yeah.
And then what you do, you kind of like get more oxygen, let it blow out.
Yeah, right.
There's no.
And then we had pollution.
Yeah, there's no pollution. Only carbon.
That's true. That's
only carbon.
That's fair.
They fertilize the land.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
My dear audience, the one thing for sure, I promise you, I'm too poor to die. I do not have the dying money. He does. Do you? You don't, right? You do, right?
I have enough to die.
You have the dying money.
I can pay for my burial.
Okay, all right, good. Very good. All right, my dear friends, thank you for sharing. We're joking. Nobody wants to die.
No.
I don't want my friend to die.
I love life.
Even though he has lots of dying money, I still don't want him to die. All right, okay, anyway, thank you for watching. And so much is the weekly update.
Yeah, and next week will be big.
I hope by next week, by the way, the coming week will be the week of the Chinese American Film Festival.
Oh yes, glorious.
Chinese American Film Festival, on the 13th anniversary, 13 years, 13 years. That's a lot of years.
That's a lot of years.
A 13-year-old boy would be this tall.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The film festival.
Oh yeah.
The boy is
13 years from now, my 28-year-old grandson will be 13.
Yeah, sure.
And he'll go there with me.
By the old China, 13 could be a father.
That's
right. Something like that.
It's true.
Okay. Now,
physically
by
possible.
the way, for your information, the county of Los Angeles has made the month of November the month of the Chinese American Film Festival.
Really?
Yes. And
Great.
The city of LA made the day, November 1st, the day of the Chinese American Festival.
Really? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Because I've been there the last several years, and I'll be there, and I love it.
Hallelujah. On the 29th, which is Sunday,
wow.
onward, all the way to the entire November. So,
beautiful.
Folks, we'll see you there. There are going to be some tickets available. Check online. All right. So, see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Jack.
All right. Thank you.
Cool.